All right, here we are today. It's April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. I'm Bruce Firestone, real estate investment and business coach. And today I'm joined by a young friend of mine, John Connelly. John, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's John. I'm an investment expert of sorts. So I look at all kinds of different investment opportunities, and I look at how to time them and where to find good value on those so you can make money and reduce risk, basically, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you have a lot of expertise in doing financial analysis and looking at trades, and you also have experience, I believe, in crypto. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And you've been asked recently to do possibly a weekly update or weekly newsletter or weekly blog post for a major outlet that has about 1 million active users. And you did mention to me before we started recording this that you were thinking about developing a personal brand because you want to go out to 1 million people without a random sort of approach to things. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be a great way to build off what I'm doing and give people kind of a next step when they click on the videos and read the analysis.
Right. So do you know why a brand is important, John?
Vaguely. I mean, I think there's some reputation there and some
Right.
marketing and some stickiness to your ideas when there's something associated with it. But yeah, I'm not an expert on it. So.
No, but I think those are all important things that you just mentioned. I really like that. But you know, as an engineer, I would go and as of course an entrepreneur, I have probably talked to a couple of hundred marketing firms, and I've always asked them, why is a brand important? And the answer I get from these marketing agencies is, well, everyone knows a brand is important. Oh, okay, so a rose is a rose.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to get much useful information other than, of course, your brand is important, and a brand is important for all the reasons that I think most people would know and understand. But a marketing agency, or in this case, a personal branding exercise, should understand the real purpose behind a brand. And it took me a long time to figure it out, John. And I'll just describe the process to you. So you have a little bit of money, and you invested in marketing. Hopefully the marketing is effective and it builds your brand. Okay, that's good. And if it's a good brand, well, that seems to be, self-evidently a good thing. All right, so that's where most marketing agencies stop. You know, they design a beautiful logo and a nice website, maybe a few good presence on social media. They build a brand and they say, there you go, we're done.
Yeah.
But they missed out the missing link. And the missing link is this, that if you have a great brand, a great brand engenders trust. In other words, your clients or potential clients, potential customers, potential suppliers, potential employees, potential stakeholders or stakeholders, in your business ecosystem, they come to trust John Connelly or Prof Bruce or IBM or whatever. So what happens is, you have a little bit of money, you do a bit of marketing, it builds your brand. And the reason you build your brand is that creates trust in the marketplace, and trust in the marketplace allows you to sell something.
Right.
That trust thing is the missing link. And I'll give you an example of that. A few years ago, there was a new insurance company formed from, components of different separate companies, and it was called Clarica. And they ran a bunch of ads on television. And I'll give you an example. So this guy's in a very hip restaurant, and he's really got to go to the bathroom, and he runs away from his date, and he goes to see the bathrooms, and there's two there, but the signs are so androgynous that he's not sure if this is the boys and this is the girls, or vice versa. He just doesn't know. So he's standing there crossing his legs, holding it in, and he's going to wait until somebody comes out. And then a person comes out of one of these bathrooms, but that person is so androgynous looking that he has no more information than he had before. He still doesn't know which is the boys and which is the girls. And then somebody from stage right comes in, a Clarica agent, and says, Clarica, it's all about clarity. And that's the end of the commercial. They're not trying to sell you any insurance. So,
Yeah.
so what they were trying to do, John, is this. They were trying to build a brand around Clarica and create an element of trust. So let's say I came to see you and your girlfriend, and I said, John, I'd like to sell you some insurance, life insurance or term insurance in case anything happens to you. What will happen if you had a girlfriend or wife, if you had some children, what will happen to your wife and your kids? And you say, well, maybe I've been thinking about that. Bruce, I might buy some, term insurance from you or life insurance from you. I say, great. And then maybe your girlfriend says, Bruce, can you tell me again where you work? And I said, oh, didn't I tell you that? I work for the Antigua Pirate Insurance Company. And you go, the Pirate Insurance Company of Antigua? I wonder if I'm going to trust my future to a company called the Pirate Insurance Company of Antigua. And then, maybe I don't make a sale. However, if I say, oh yeah, I thought I mentioned that to you. I'm with Clarica. You go, oh, I saw that commercial on TV. That was so funny. So what that marketing did was it built an element of trust around Clarica. So in a separate sales process, somebody who's selling insurance, like if I was doing that, could come to your family and there would be an instant bond and trust. Because, John, at the end of the day, people like to buy from people they like and trust.
Yeah.
So the missing link is trust. So
Okay.
I can't believe how many marketing agencies I've talked to, as I said earlier, maybe in the hundreds now, that actually don't know what it is that they do.
Makes sense.
All right. So let me share my screen with you. Can you see this slide deck of mine?
Yeah.
All right, how to build a great personal brand. All right, let's see if we can get through a few of these slides together. Why do you have a personal brand? Why is personal branding important? The basic message, I think, is to deliver a consistent experience to customers, clients, suppliers, employees, your board of directors, your shareholders, your marketing partners, your whole business ecosystem. So most people think of branding as important to attract more clients and customers, and that is true. But if you and I, John, ran a tech company, or for that matter, a financial company, having good employees is pretty important.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett said that the second most important decision, other than the decision to start a business, is who you have on the bus with you. So if you have a great brand, you're probably going to attract great employees. All right, let's go to the next one. I sent you this, I think, earlier today in an email. It's kind of a paraphrase of a famous quote I heard when I was a young fellow. When asked, this is a quote from a famous race car driver. When asked how come he won so many races, he replied, when there's a crash on the course, whether or not it's minor or major, other drivers ease up. I don't. And one of the things, we are now going through a crisis, and it's obviously a terrible, terrible event for, millions of people around the globe. But we will survive this. Some of us won't, but those who do, the ones who will be most successful are the ones who are still, like you, John, preparing for better days ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next one. So what are some of the branding channels that people use? Well, most of this is obvious to all of us.
Yeah.
I write a blog. LinkedIn is very important, I think, for personal branding. Facebook page and Facebook group. There's other social media outlets out there. Twitter maybe less so, Instagram maybe more so, Pinterest, YouTube. And, like, for example, this Zoom recording that we're doing right now, John, after we finish, I will upload it unlisted to YouTube, and people will be able to see it. It's a cheap way of creating content, but it's also very effective.
Yeah, Twitter in particular for the financial sphere is massive.
It's big, and for sports too. When I tweet something out about how to protect yourself at a time of COVID-19 on my Twitter account, it gets 3 or 4 retweets or likes or whatever.
Yeah.
If I tweet something out about the National Hockey League, which I was involved with for many years, I'll get a few hundred.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's Twitter for you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you'll do some media interviews. You'll have a personal website. And something that is often overlooked is your personal email correspondence.
Okay.
You notice how many emails have you gotten from me over the last few months? Well, quite a few, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And do you notice how each of them sort of tell a little mini story?
Yeah, you've always got a little end note in there or something.
Always, always, always. So
Yeah.
I mean, back in the old days when people actually wrote snail mailed letters, those handwritten letters that we have from, from Albert Einstein or other great minds are
Yeah.
really important, right? So email correspondence should, I don't like people who write emails with lots of spelling mistakes and grammatical
No,
errors. That's not a way to build a personal brand.
no, that's interesting.
All right. And then, of course, given where you're going with some of your financial coaching, webinars, seminars, and keynotes are going to be an important part of your future, John, in my opinion. You have, as we talked about before we started, you have a different view of the world than most people. And I think people are really going to want to hear that, especially now. The other thing that you can do is today it's very easy to self-publish a book, self-publish some case studies, and even to offer course material. So that's another part and another channel for you. And something else that right at the bottom of this list, John,
Yeah.
that I wanted to point out is this is often overlooked, which is client testimonials. As you do more
Okay.
work for different people, ask people for testimonials. The problem is, John, that most people are super busy and they will not actually write you a testimonial.
Yeah, so you write it for them and
So you write it for them, and
yeah.
you send them. Usually what I do is maybe you send me a nice note when our coaching is over and say, Bruce, it really was valuable. I learned this. I made some changes in my life. I did this. I go, well,
Yeah.
that's really nice. So I'll actually turn that into a quote from you
Right.
about my coaching. I'll send it to you and say, John, can I use this? And most
Yeah.
people will say,
Okay,
um,
great.
so what are the benefits of a personal brand? The trust is the number one thing that comes out of it. And trust creates a level of authority. You're going to be the go-to people when people think I'm interested in crypto, I'm interested in blockchain, I'm interested in
Yeah.
financial analysis. I want them to think of John Connelly. And John, you should never cut your hair,
Fair enough. All right.
as long as you have it anyway. Like I have
That
no
makes
hair. That's
sense.
why I wear this is my toupee here.
Yeah.
But when as long as you have nice hair, you should
Yeah.
keep it because that's part of your brand, in my opinion.
All right. I like it. I like it.
Although next time you might brush it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey, John's in his cottage hiding out
Yeah.
doing the COVID-19 thing. I'm in my home office doing the same. So when you have a top personal brand, it creates trust and authority. You will attract more clients. It will allow you to command premium prices for your services,
Hmm.
and it will build your network much quicker. I don't have 1 million followers, but I have about 15 or 16,000 people on my email list, and about 105 or 110,000 individuals read my blog on a regular basis. So for somebody my age, that's probably pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
The other thing that a brand does, whether it's a brand for a company or it's a brand for an individual like you or me, is it builds a moat around your offering. Do you understand that concept?
Um, Not really, no.
So what you want to avoid doing in this world is avoid entering into a race to the bottom where somebody's offering, say, real estate investment and business coaching I charge $1,500 a month plus HST, which I don't think is very expensive. It's just month to
Mhm.
month. But somebody else might say, well, I'll do it for $850. And then somebody else
Yeah.
might say, I'll do it for $450. And somebody else might say, I'll do it for $25, Uh,
Yeah.
that's a race to the bottom that you cannot win. There's always somebody around who will offer similar products and services. So when you have a great personal brand, and my personal brand is pretty strong, it builds a moat. You know what a moat is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's like a castle had a ring of water around it. So you built a really kind of a fence around your offering, and it means that you can charge premium prices and hopefully make a living as well. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So what are some of the steps that I think you might consider? And I'm going to give you a little bit of an exercise to do too, okay?
Okay.
You don't get away from Prof Bruce without homework.
No.
All right. So we've already talked about this and we've been working on it, although I'm not sure we've actually got there yet, you and me, John, but Find
Yeah,
your
find your why. I do remember that.
find your authentic why. What are you passionate about, and what are your interests? I know you like real estate, but I think you believe in and are more passionate about the financial analysis of the things you can bring to the table that in many ways no one else can. So
Yeah,
find,
I definitely like it. I mean, I think it's partially greed too, but you know, I like to help people, and there's a lot of bullshit in the financial industry too. So it's
there's no question about it. I mean,
nice to
even
cut through that and be like, here's what
yeah.
you can
I
do.
mean, I told you after the senators went broke, I went to visit 2 or 3 of the top financial planners in Ottawa, and their advice was so bad that I created my own plan.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I
Yeah,
did
so it's a
community coaching.
similar I don't know, ethics is the wrong word, but moral drive in that sense, I guess, as you have in a way with your real
Yeah,
estate stuff. Like,
I'm a big believer in what you're where you're going with financial coaching. I think it's going to be,
yeah,
um, and there's a real need for it. And so you want to find out what are your brand assets. That's the next step. You know, what are your skills? I misspelled it. I apologize. What are your skills, your credentials, your core values, your beliefs, and what is your message? And then you have to come up with a mission statement, right? What is your mission? And what is your brand message? And I just put mine up here. Prof Bruce' main message and mission is to help people provide for themselves and their families for 3 generations through real estate investment and owning a personal business for life. That's me. That's what I do. I'm going to do this until St. Peter calls me home. And I want you to try and work on something too. I
okay,
help people provide for themselves and their families for 3 generations through successful real estate investing and owning a personal business for life. That's what
great.
I do. That's all I do. If people call me up and say, Bruce, you ought to do this, this, and this, I go, well, thank you so much for calling and thinking of me. The answer is no.
Yeah,
So I need you to work on that. Okay.
all right, deal.
All right. And by the way, it's hard to do.
Yeah, yeah,
Whether you're 30 like you are or 68 like me. All right. The other thing that you start to think about then is who is your ideal client? What are their demographics? What are their desires and aspirations? What are their pain points and challenges? And then you want to create an irresistible offer. And you know, if I get to meet 10 people, John, who are interested in coaching, I probably sign up 4 or 5 or 6 of them out of 10. No, I don't get 10 out of 10. I wish I did, but I
yeah,
don't. And it's probably a good thing I don't get all 10 because maybe some people are not really coachable. But
yeah.
my winning percentage and my closing percentage is probably between 400 and 600 over a very long period of time.
It's pretty
And
high.
and if your closing percentage is down around 100 or 200, in other words, 10% or 20%, that's not good enough.
Right.
Your long-term goal should be, if you have 10 leads coming to you for financial coaching, you want to be able to close 4 of them. If you can do
Right.
that, you will have a successful business. If you can get 5 or 6 out of 10, that is really great. All right. So you create an irresistible offer, telling people what it is you do, what your value proposition is. And the next thing is really important, and that is why you're different. So I need to hear from you the points of differentiation. You know, I mean, I love that commercial on TV where this guy, a little bit older than you, he's looking at a piece of paper and he says to his financial planner, "Why are my returns so low and my fees so high?" And the financial planner says, "Well, it's a long-term game." And then uh, the client says, "Well, it's not a game to me, it's my retirement."
Yeah,
Very powerful ad. So
yeah,
you want to prove to people, you know, in that case, they were introducing some financial products that had lower fees.
yeah.
But you want to say what it is that you do and what makes you different. And above all, people want to know why you do what you do. Not necessarily just what you do and how you do it, but why you do it. People buy your why, right? And if you're authentic about it, you know, when I say I'm really in this to help people, you know, provide for themselves and their families for 3 generations, people really kind of say, that comes across as an authentic desire on my part. So that's my why. And that's something I want you to work on. All right. This is my better half. This is Dawn. And she uses, as do I and many of my clients, something called the Socratic method. Socrates taught his students not by telling them stuff, but by asking them questions. That's the Socratic method, okay?
Okay.
And here's Dawn is a life coach, and she's a much better coach, I have to say, than me, but don't tell anybody. And so if you go to Dawn's website, she asks, what if you wanted to take stock of what's going on in your life, wanted to push and set bigger goals for yourself, wanted to learn how to make better choices and decisions, wanted to have all the tools you need to help you and those around you succeed? What if you wanted to improve your performance and productivity at work? What if you wanted to develop a better personal brand? What if you wanted to be more focused and fulfilled? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Dawn for coaching, right? It's very powerful. So I'd like you to try and create a set of questions that to which hopefully, are you satisfied with your current financial planner? No. Are you satisfied with your current financial plan? No.
Yeah.
Do you think that there might be better alternatives out there other than what you're currently doing? And those kinds of questions you should be able to come up with, half a dozen. And that is the Socratic method. So you're not telling people they should buy your service. You're asking them questions to which, if they answer yes to some or all of them, they reach out to you.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm going to see if I can do this. The very, very first step in terms of creating a personal brand is to create a message map. Do you know what a message map is?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we're going to watch a video by this guy. Carmen Gallo is a contributor to Forbes, and I'm going to see if I can play this for you. Let me see if I can. All right. It's only about 2 minutes long, but hang on a second. I'll see what I can do. I got to get rid of this. So give me a second here.
No problem.
I think this, skip ads. I'm going to try and skip the ads. All right, hang on. All right. So can you see this browser of mine here?
Yeah.
Now let me see if I can play it loud enough that you'll actually be able to hear it. So when I turn it on, can you just nod if you can hear it?
Yeah.
Or give me the thumbs up if you can hear it. If not, I'll turn it up louder.
I'm going to show you how to pitch anything in 15 seconds. And we're going to do so with the help of a great tool called a message map. A message map is the visual display of your story on one page. So for this exercise, you're going to need a notepad, a tablet computer, or a good old-fashioned whiteboard. And we're also going to use the example of a real company called Lush. Lush is a global soap store. I believe they're in about 45 countries. They make fantastic handmade fresh soap. That lemon smells great. I don't have any financial interest in this company, but I know their messaging really, really well. I've talked to the founders before, and in order to create a really good message map, you got to know the story. So let's start with step one, creating what I call a Twitter-friendly headline. The Twitter-friendly headline is the one overarching message that you're trying to communicate to your customer, the one thing you want people to know about your brand or your product. I've already taken the liberty of filling this out. Lush makes handmade soaps and cosmetics. So again, based on my understanding and my understanding of the message, I think that's the one thing they want you to know. Lush makes handmade soaps and cosmetics. If that's all you know, it tells you a lot. And it also fits well within a Twitter post of 140 characters. So keep it short. But now let's fill in the rest of the message map with 3 or at most 4 supporting points. So again, based on what I understand of the messaging so far, I would say fresh is very important to them. And we'll talk about that in a second. Fresh. The other sub point or supporting point I would make is environmentally, and I'll shorten it, environmentally friendly. And the third point is ethical campaigns. They support a lot of ethical campaigns globally and in their various communities where the locations are held. So Lush makes handmade soaps and cosmetics. There's 3 reinforcing points. They're fresh, they're environmentally friendly, and they support ethical campaigns. Now let's see how this would work out in the real world. I'm going to use a stopwatch for this. Let's assume, hypothetically, customer walks into a Lush store. A sales associate might say something like this. Hi, welcome to Lush. We make handmade soaps and cosmetics. Everything you see in the store is fresh, it's environmentally friendly, and part of the proceeds go to support ethical campaigns in our community. Take a look around, enjoy yourself. 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, I gave you the broad story. If that's all you know about Lush, this actually tells you quite a bit. But now let's go one step further. Let's extend the conversation somewhat, maybe to a 30-second pitch. You're going to have to support these points for a longer conversation. So under fresh, you might add just a couple of bullet points like manufactured daily, ship the next day. Under environmentally friendly, you can put something like unpackaged so that the plastic doesn't end up in landfills. Or you might put ingredients not tested on animals. These sub-points, the supporting points for each of your 3 key messages, need to be very specific. They need to be examples, data, statistics, or even stories. And under ethical campaigns, you might add 1 or 2 of the campaigns that the Lush brand supports, either globally or locally in communities. So there you go. This is a message map. It is one of the most powerful tools in communication. It works each and every time, even for very complex products or concepts. I know because I've worked with leaders who have incredibly complex products to talk about or to sell. In fact, the more complex your product, the more you need the message map. Because you, as a leader, you need to communicate the benefits of your product in a way that is simple, clear, and concise. The message map is your winning ticket.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll just push this aside now. Thank you. I think Carmen is right. You know, it's a bit corny, but I think he's
That's all right.
and I'd like you, and you were able to hear it okay?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, so I'd like you to try and create a message map for yourself, John. Okay, and I did one for me. Okay, and so I'm going to give you my 30-second pitch. You ready?
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Prof Bruce. People think of me as a caring, sharing, and creative person. I'm a great keynote speaker. In fact, I got a standing ovation in the last keynote I did, and the largest live audience I've ever been in front of was 12,000 people, and the smallest was about 20. I make the impossible possible in real estate. I'm a wonderful coach and mentor, and I'm a fine writer. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Right, so that's my message map. It's been a while since I gave it. I probably could do it a little better if I practiced, but
Yeah.
But you get the idea. So people think of me, they say, well, I could invite Bruce to do a keynote speech for us. Or if I'm interested in real estate, maybe I should reach out to Bruce. He's both a real estate and business coach. And he's written a lot. Maybe I could get a book from him, right? So it kind of all ties together.
Awesome.
All right. All right. So what I would like you to do is I'd like you to create a message map for yourself.
Okay.
It could be anywhere from 15 seconds to as much as 2 minutes. I don't put artificial limits on it, but it wouldn't be more than 2 minutes. You could say a lot in 2 minutes. And then put it on YouTube unlisted, record it, and then send the link to me. That's your homework.
Okay.
All right. And it's fun to do. And I've had probably now thousands of people do it. Now, how do you build your message map? You create the short headline. You support the headline with 3 or 4 points. You reinforce those key points with benefits and differentiators. You can describe your brand in a few words. I did mine, caring, sharing, creative. That's kind of me, I guess. You remember my tagline is very short. It's making impossible possible. So 3 words. And I do have a 140 character CV, that I talk about myself as an urban guru, a keynote speaker, a writer, a real estate investor, business coach, Ottawa Senators founder, peerless husband and dad. You can imagine the last little bit I added myself. All right. And I think I'm going to send you the rest of this slide deck so you can go through it on your own. But there was a couple other things I thought maybe we should look at one more time and would be useful to include in this little tutorial that you and I are recording together. And that is, the find your why thing, right? I think I say it, I show it here. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. That's what Mark Twain said, which I think is right.
Yeah.
And it took me, John, 61 years to find my why. That's too long. If you can do it when you're 30 or 40 or even 50 instead of 60 or 61, that's really important. And I really strongly encourage people of all ages, young and not so young, to work on this. I don't know if you've seen Simon Sinek, but he is an amazing guy. He's probably a few years older than you. And he has a video on YouTube that you can find. Simon Sinek, you can see the spelling of his last name there.
Yeah, I watched that a few weeks ago.
It's fantastic.
I'm going to watch it again.
You should. He said, people don't buy what you do or how you do it. They buy why you do what you do. So finding your why is really important. And you've already seen or heard from me, my why. What? I'm a real estate investment and business coach. How? I help people learn how to be more successful real estate investors and how to build their very own personal business for life. Why? I believe that the only practical way most people can take care of themselves and their families for 3 generations is by owning and controlling their own personal business for life and via successful real estate investing. And, I'm consistent. So that is the one word that Carmen Gallo didn't use about when he was talking about the benefits of the message map. And that is a consistent delivery of a message, a consistent experience. So if you're running Lush soaps and cosmetics, and you have 1,000 employees and all 1,000 of them are delivering the same message, that's a really strong branding exercise.
Great.
All right. So what I think you're looking for when you're looking for your why is something that your heart's in it, you're passionate about it, your head is into it, and your gut is into it. Your instincts, your analytical part of yourself, and your heart, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Any final words before we end the recording here?
No, I think that's great. Appreciate it.
All right. So say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening today.
Thank you.